I told my friends my husband was too stupid to catch me cheating. But what he did on my birthday left me speechless and everyone at the table frozen. I effed up. I effed up so bad. I'm 32F, married to Ronan, 35M, for 8 years. He's an aviation safety inspector for the FAA, basically investigates plane crashes and figures out what went wrong. Makes over $200K a year, which is why we live in a beautiful house and I can work my dream job as an auction house specialist appraising rare artifacts, even though I only make about $65K. 6 months ago, I started an affair with Philippe, a sommelier at this exclusive wine bar where I take clients. I justified it because Ronan was always traveling for investigations, coming home talking about debris patterns and black box recordings. I wanted excitement, romance, someone who'd discuss art and wine instead of crash trajectories. Last month, I was at brunch with my girls, Indira, Solange, and Beatrix. We were 3 mimosas deep and I was running my mouth about Philippe. I actually said, and I cringe typing this, Ronan's too stupid to ever notice. The man stares at plane parts all day. He wouldn't recognize passion if it hit him at 30,000 feet. They laughed. Beatrix even high-fived me. What I didn't know. Ronan had come to surprise me. He'd wrapped up an investigation early and wanted to take me to lunch. He heard everything. He didn't confront me. Didn't yell. Didn't even seem different. Still made my coffee with oat milk and 2 sugars. Still kissed my forehead before bed. Still asked about my day. But something's changed. He's been asking weird questions. Hey babe, remember that wine tasting you went to last month? Which vintages did they feature? Or your GPS was acting up? I can check if it needs updating. Yesterday, he asked for Philippe's last name because he wanted to thank him for those wine recommendations. I think he knows. And I'm terrified. Edit, stop DMing me that I'm a terrible person. I know I effed up. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. Edit 2, to answer questions, yes, I'm still seeing Philippe. I can't just ghost him. And yes, I know how this sounds. Post 2, update, he definitely knows. It's been a week since my last post. Things have gotten worse. Ronan's been different. Not angry different. Calculating different. Like how he describes investigating a crash, methodical, patient, collecting every piece of evidence. He installed new security cameras for safety. Started coming home at random times, forgot my files. Even suggested we share phone locations in case of emergencies. But here's what's scaring me, he's been perfect. Too perfect. Made dinner reservations at places I mentioned months ago. Bought flowers. Even fixed the leaky faucet I'd been nagging about for a year. My friends think I'm paranoid. Solange said, girl, maybe he's finally stepping up. Enjoy it. But I know my husband. When Ronan goes quiet and focused, it's because he's working a case. And right now, I think I'm the case. Philippe wants me to leave Ronan. Says we could move to Napa where he has connections. I told him I need time to think, but honestly, I'm starting to realize how much I have to lose. This house, our savings, the life Ronan's salary provides. My birthday is next week. Ronan asked where I want to have dinner. When I suggested my favorite place, he said, perfect. Invite all your friends. I want to make it special. The way he said special made my blood run cold. Edit, yes, I've considered coming clean. But what if I'm wrong? What if he doesn't know and I'm just being paranoid? Edit 2, stop telling me to end it with Philippe. It's complicated. Post 3, the birthday dinner that ruined my life. I'm writing this from my car in the restaurant parking lot. I can't stop shaking. Tonight was my birthday dinner. I invited everyone, Indira, Solange, Beatrix, some work colleagues. Ronan said he had to work late but to start without him. Should have been my first red flag. We were halfway through appetizers when the waiter brought over this beautifully wrapped box. Gold ribbon, expensive paper. From your husband, he said. Everyone was excited. Beatrix was recording. Open it. Open it. Inside was a manila folder. On top, a handwritten note in Ronan's neat investigator handwriting. Thea, I investigate disasters for a living. Did you really think I was too stupid to piece together this one? Happy birthday. The folder contained screenshots of texts between Philippe and me, credit card records from the wine bar, hotel receipts, photos of Philippe's car at our house while Ronan was traveling, flight records showing Ronan was actually in town during my auction trips, a full timeline of the affair with dates, times, locations, Bank statements showing cash withdrawals matching hotel costs. At the bottom, another note, PS check your bank account. I did. Our joint checking, joint savings, everything, emptied down to the minimum required balance. All legally transferred to his personal account yesterday. Then the door opened. A process server walked straight to our table. Thea Morrison? I couldn't speak. Just nodded. You've been served. Divorce papers. In front of everyone. Beatrix was still recording. Indira looked like she wanted to disappear. The entire restaurant was staring. I called Ronan. Straight to voicemail. Texted him. iMessage showed read but no response. Drove home. His stuff is gone. His clothes, his investigation files, his grandfather's watch collection. Even his coffee maker. There's just a note on the counter. I'm keeping the house. My lawyer will be in touch. Don't try to contact me directly. I called Philippe, sobbing. He said he couldn't talk right now and would call me back. That was 3 hours ago. Edit, I know I deserve this. Please stop flooding my inbox. Edit 2, yes, it's legal. Texas is a community property state, but he documented my affair and financial infidelity. I spent marital funds on Philippe. Post 4, everything's getting worse. It's been 3 days since my birthday disaster. I'm staying with Indira because I can't face being in that house alone. Ronan's lawyer sent a formal separation agreement. He's not playing around. Documented every cent I spent on Philippe, every lie about work trips, every marital asset I misused. His investigation training really showed. The evidence packet is 200 plus pages, indexed and cross-referenced like a federal case. Philippe finally called back. Said he needs space to process everything. When I reminded him about Napa, he said that was just pillow talk, babe. Then he blocked me. But here's the worst part, the video from my birthday is everywhere. Beatrix posted it on TikTok before I could stop her. 2.3 million views. The comments are brutal. Someone found my LinkedIn. My auction house CEO called an emergency meeting for Monday. Ronan's brother Kieran texted me, he gave you 8 years of loyalty and a 6-figure lifestyle. You gave him humiliation and betrayal. That video of you calling him stupid? He has that too. Good luck in court. I've tried calling Ronan 47 times. Nothing. His lawyer says all communication goes through her. I thought I was so smart. So clever. Turns out I'm the stupidest person in this whole equation. Edit, the house is in his name. He bought it before we married. I never bothered to get added because I trusted him. Post 5, lost my job today. The meeting with my CEO went exactly how you'd expect. Thea, your personal life has created an untenable situation for our reputation. We work with high net worth clients who value discretion. They offered me a choice, resign with 2 weeks severance or be fired for cause, using company cards for personal expenses, those wine bar lunches with Philippe. I resigned. Went to the wine bar to see Philippe. His manager said he no longer works there. No forwarding information. Ronan's lawyer sent more documents. He wants the house, already his. Full custody of our dog, I didn't even know he'd taken Duchess. Me to pay back $47,000 in marital funds spent on the affair. The BMW, in his name, of course. Spousal support waived due to infidelity. My lawyer, who's costing me $400/hour I don't have, says I have no leverage. Texas allows fault-based divorce, and Ronan has enough evidence to bury me. The TikTok is at 5 million views. Someone made a remix with that Oh No song. I'm a meme. Too stupid to notice girl. Indira asked me to find somewhere else to stay. Her husband's uncomfortable with me being there. Edit, yes, I tried to get Philippe to help financially. His number's disconnected. Post 6, rock bottom has a basement. Staying at a Motel 6. Can't afford anything else. My lawyer called. Ronan's team provided more evidence. Philippe has a fiancée in Austin. Has had one the entire time. Security footage from our house showing Philippe and me when Ronan was supposedly traveling. A spreadsheet documenting every lie, cross-referenced with his actual location. But here's what broke me, Ronan submitted a victim impact statement. He wrote about how he rushed home early from investigating a crash where 3 people died, excited to surprise me for lunch, only to hear me calling him stupid and mocking his career while bragging about my affair. He wrote, I've spent my career investigating how small failures lead to disasters. I never thought I'd have to investigate my own marriage's crash. Solange finally told me the truth. At that brunch? After Ronan left, she and Indira tried to warn me. Said I was being cruel and ungrateful. I laughed and ordered another mimosa. Got an email from Philippe's fiancé's lawyer. Cease and desist. If I contact him again, they'll sue for harassment. My dad called. Someone sent him the video. He said, "Your mother and I didn't raise you to be this person." Then he hung up. Edit, stop asking if this is real. I wish it wasn't. Post 7, divorce finalized. Court was brutal. Ronan showed up looking like he always does, composed, professional, devastating in a navy suit. He didn't look at me once. His lawyer presented everything. The full investigation file. Financial forensics showing I spent $47,000 on hotels, dinners, gifts. Character witnesses, his colleagues testified about his integrity. My own words from that brunch, transcribed. My lawyer tried arguing for some assets. The judge looked at the evidence and actually said, "Mrs. Morrison, your husband's profession requires him to determine truth from debris. It appears he's done exactly that with your marriage." Final judgment. Ronan keeps the house. I owe him $30,000. Judge reduced it from $47,000. No spousal support for me. He keeps all retirement accounts. I get my clothes and personal items. Even Duchess stays with him. Outside court, I tried to approach Ronan. His brother Kieran stepped between us. He said everything in that courtroom. Leave him alone. As they walked away, I heard Kieran ask Ronan if he wanted to grab lunch. Ronan said, "Yeah, but somewhere quiet. I'm tired of investigating disasters." That's what I am now. A disaster he investigated, documented, and cleared from his life. Post 8, 6 months later, a different perspective. I work at a mid-tier furniture store now. Commission only. Living in a studio apartment that's smaller than my old walk-in closet. Today, I ran into Ronan at a coffee shop. He was with a woman, tall, confident, laughing at something he said. He was laughing too. I hadn't seen him laugh like that in years. He saw me, nodded politely, then went back to his conversation. I wanted to approach, to apologize, to explain. But what would I say? That I threw away a faithful husband who adored me for a sommelier who was also cheating? That I mocked a man who made sure I never wanted for anything? That I called stupid the same man who pieced together my deception with the precision he uses to solve aviation disasters? Indira texted me last week. First time since everything fell apart. She said Ronan's doing well. Got promoted to senior investigator. Bought a boat. Started dating that woman, she's a pilot. Makes sense. Someone who understands his world. Philippe? Posted on Instagram from his wedding in Austin. Beautiful vineyard. Beautiful bride. Comments full of congratulations. No mention of the auction house specialist who blew up her life for him. The TikTok? Still circulating. 12 million views now. I had to delete all social media. You know what the worst part is? Ronan never yelled. Never called me names. Never tried to hurt me back. He just investigated, documented, and removed me from his life like clearing wreckage from a runway. I called him stupid. Turns out the only stupid person in our marriage was me. Edit, this is my last update. To everyone asking, yes, I regret everything. Yes, I'm in therapy. No, I don't expect sympathy. I got exactly what I deserved. Edit 2, to the women DMing me about their own affairs, please learn from my stupidity. Whatever you think you're missing in your marriage, I promise it's not worth losing everything for someone who'll disappear the second things get complicated. Edit 3, someone asked what I learned. Simple, when you call someone stupid while betraying them, make sure they're not a literal professional investigator who spends their life determining exactly how things fall apart. Post 9, 1 year later, the real cost. I wasn't going to update again, but I need to write this down. Maybe it'll help someone else. Maybe it'll just help me process. It's been a year since my birthday dinner. Since my life exploded. Since I learned what consequences really means. I see a therapist now. Sliding scale at a community center. She asked me to write down the real cost of my choices. Not just money or assets. Everything. Here's what my affair really cost me. My marriage, lost a man who loved me for 8 years. Who worked brutal hours investigating tragedies so I could pursue my passion for art. Who brought me coffee every morning and knew exactly how I liked it. Who would have given me the world if I'd just been faithful. My career, went from appraising $1 million artifacts to selling discount couches. My reputation in the art world is destroyed. The video follows me everywhere. I legally changed my name, but Google remembers everything. My friends, Indira, Solange, Beatrix, all gone. Can't blame them. I became radioactive. The friend who cheats and gets exposed on social media isn't someone you keep around. My family, Dad still won't talk to me. Mom emails occasionally, but it's strained. My sister sent my wedding photos back with a note, "Don't want reminders of who you pretended to be." My self-respect, this is the hardest one. I see myself in mirrors and hate what looks back. Not because of how I look, but because of what I did. Who I became. My future, I'm 33, starting over with nothing. Credit ruined from legal fees. Dating? Who wants the woman from that viral cheating video? I tried apps. Men recognize me and either run or think I'm easy. But here's what haunts me most. Last month, I was doom scrolling and saw an article. Ronan's team solved a major crash investigation. Saved a fleet of planes from a critical defect. The article mentioned he's engaged to that pilot. There was a photo, him in his investigation gear at the crash site, her in her captain's uniform. They looked perfect. The comments were brutal. Isn't this the guy whose ex called him stupid? Imagine fumbling a whole investigator. She traded this for a wine waiter? Someone linked the original video. It's at 18 million views now. My therapist asked what I'd say to Ronan if I could. Honestly? You were never stupid. I was. You investigated plane crashes while I crashed our marriage. I'm sorry. But he'll never hear it. That's my punishment. Living with what I threw away while watching him soar without me. To anyone reading this in an affair fog, your spouse isn't stupid. You're not that clever. And when it all comes crashing down, and it will, you'll be the only casualty. Edit, yes, I know I'm pathetic. That's the point. Edit 2, to everyone saying this is fake, God, I wish. Final edit, Ronan, if you somehow see this, you deserved better. You always did. I hope she gives you everything I was too selfish to give. I hope you never investigate another personal disaster again. Post 10, 2 years later, closure I don't deserve. This is absolutely my final post. I need to share what happened last week. I was working late at the furniture store when a familiar voice said, "Excuse me, do you have this in navy?" Ronan. Standing there with a furniture catalog, looking at couches. I froze. He recognized me immediately. For a moment, neither of us spoke. "Thea," he said simply. Not cruel. Not cold. Just neutral. "Hi," I managed. He could have walked away. Should have. Instead, he said, "I need a couch. You work here. Can you help me find one?" For the next hour, I showed him furniture. He mentioned he'd bought a new place. Bigger. "Catherine and I are getting married next month," he said casually. "Combining households." I congratulated him. What else could I do? As I wrote up his order, he said something that broke me. "You know, I never thought you were a bad person, Thea. Just someone who made terrible choices." "I called you stupid," I whispered. "You did," he agreed. "But I wasn't the one who lost everything for nothing." He signed for the furniture. Then he looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in 2 years. I investigated our marriage like a crash because that's what it was. But crashes teach us things. I learned I deserve someone who sees my worth. Catherine gets excited when I talk about my cases. She doesn't think they're boring. He paused at the door. "I hope you learned something too." After he left, I broke down in the employee bathroom. Not because I want him back, that ship didn't just sail, it sank. But because he gave me something I didn't deserve, acknowledgement that I'm still human. My coworker asked if I was okay. I said yes. Because for the first time in 2 years, maybe I am. Or will be. I'll never be the woman who appraises $1,000,000 artifacts again. I'll never have that beautiful house or that faithful husband. But maybe I can be someone who learned from the wreckage. Ronan investigates disasters to prevent future ones. Maybe my disaster can serve the same purpose, a warning to others about the cost of betrayal, the price of arrogance, and the weight of calling someone too stupid to notice. He noticed everything. He always did. He just loved me too much to investigate until I gave him no choice. Don't be me. Whatever you're thinking of doing, whoever you're thinking of betraying, don't. The Philippe in your life isn't worth the Ronan you'll lose. And if you're lucky enough to have a Ronan, someone steady, faithful, who provides for you and loves you even when you call their job boring, hold on tight. Because when you let go, you don't just fall, you crash. And some crashes, you don't walk away from. Final thought, Ronan, if you're reading this, thank you for the closure. Thank you for showing me grace when I deserved none. Your new couch will look perfect in navy. Catherine is the luckiest woman alive. I was too. I just didn't know it until it was too late. Story 2. Yes, this is a long post, but it's a long story. Hear me out. My friend, who I'll refer to as Nathan, 25M, has had horrible luck with women for a very long time. He does have a bright future ahead of him though in regards to career. He's just graduated college last year and is currently in law school. However, he's been homeschooled his whole life, and does all his college courses and law school online, not in person, which leads me to this next point. He's never had a girlfriend, never been out on a successful date, is still a virgin and low-key doesn't have many friends in general either, so his social skills are really underdeveloped. His only real socialization was with older people, parents, grandparents, fellow elder people, and me, met through family friends, so he was kind of raised very sheltered and doesn't have anything in common with anyone his own age, let alone women his own age. To top that all off, he's been nothing but super focused on school and being the best student he can be, so grades were his number one priority during his developmental years, which there isn't anything wrong with that. However, he never took a break to live life or have any experiences in life. Nathan has had multiple girls his family introduced him to starting in 2021 all the way till now, and they've been trying to get them to give him a chance, but they end up just not liking him. I really hate to not be on his side and support him through his constant rejections from multiple girls, but it's gotten to a point where all these girls have the same complaints about him. Nathan's about 5 feet 2 inches and body-wise, very skinny/petite built. He is also starting to bald, and has no bodily strength whatsoever either. He starts shaking just from holding a grocery bag. I hate to sound rude, but the truth is the truth. He is built like a little girl and has the hairline of a father of 3. While I understand height can't be changed and not necessarily his hair either, he can at least start working out and possibly add some weight/muscle to give him some manly appearance, so I mentioned him doing this with me in general conversation with him. Whenever I go to the gym, I tell him to come join me as a hobby or just to be my gym buddy. He declined numerous times, and the one time he did go, he struggled lifting a 10 pounds weight, so he stopped going. Okay, whatever. The way Nathan dresses is very grandpa vibes, tucks in shirt, dress pants/slacks and dress shirts on an ordinary day, etc. I asked him why doesn't he dress more comfortable every day, like a jogging outfit, a hoodie, some jeans/sweats, and that he should wear sneakers instead of Freddie Benson dress shoes every day. He doesn't think anything's wrong with how he dresses, and he wants to look professional since he's gonna be an upcoming lawyer one day. I explained to him lawyers dress in suits and ties, not tucked in button-up flannels. And they also don't dress like that every day either, just when they're on the job. Sadly, he wasn't having it. Then it finally hit me, it's his damn personality, or the lack of it. See, I'm not trying to talk down on him, but if we're gonna go by objective reality, he has the personality of a brick. I've seen with my own 2 eyes how he talks to girls, how he acts on dates, etc. He cannot make a conversation to save his life. He is not funny either, and has zero charisma. He's a literal mute on all double dates and one-on-one dates he's been on, and it's so painfully awkward to watch. It's not like the girls aren't trying either. I've managed to get him dates, however they go nowhere due to a sheer lack of confidence, personality or interest. When he talks to a woman, it's like all that he knows how to talk about is just school. And if it's not school, it's just radio silence. Or some SHT that only boomers would understand or care about. I've also noticed how every time him and I go out somewhere, and I'm not sure if it's due to his size, he is scared and flinches whenever people walk past us, and he's always afraid that doing anything or going anywhere fun or interesting is too wild or dangerous for him, i.e. concerts, bars, amusement parks, etc. So I did it. He whined and whined, kept being full of bitterness, complaints and negativity, talking bad about women and saying they never want good men and they only want players or good-looking tall guys. So I ended up telling him straight out that the reason he doesn't get anywhere with girls is because he's a dork. I told him I don't care if he's a dork since I'm not the one dating him, but that girls crave excitement, fun, or at least someone they can talk to about anything or have fun experiences with, etc. I told him he refuses to change anything physically about himself, and to top it all, if he won't even make himself at least interesting or fun to be around, and he is completely dull. That is why he can't pull or keep. He then got mad at me and accused me of picking on him and making fun of him, and that I'm holding his life circumstances against him. No public schooling/socialization. To which I told him I am not, and I wish I was just saying nonsense. I am telling him the truth. I explained to him that his lack of social skills and appearance isn't necessarily his fault. However, if someone's giving you advice on what's stopping you from getting where you want to be and how to change it, you should take that advice and quit complaining and just thinking everyone should accept you as you are, because newsflash, we all have flaws. I told him that if he wants to get somewhere with girls and not have constant competition, then he needs to have something to make up for it. Because there are plenty of lawyers and future lawyers in the world, and simply saying I graduated college isn't going to make somebody have a connection or attraction to you. He told me I'm jealous that he's getting somewhere in his life academically, and that other girls are the problem for not seeing his worth and future success, and that if that's not enough for them to be with him, then they're the ones not good enough for him. I have not talked to him since then, and I refuse to associate with someone who thinks I'm jealous of them for giving them constructive criticism to a problem they constantly complain about. My dad is saying I'm right, but also that it's probably an insecurity on his part and I should apologize and try not to be too hard on him. I feel like I shouldn't be friends with somebody who can't ever see what's wrong with them or accept their flaws without crying about it and blaming others though, because that's just plain toxic to me. Am I the idiot? Update. I just wanted to say that I got in contact with Nathan and apologized to him for being too harsh towards him. I tried explaining to him that even though I was harsh, I was just frustrated and trying to help him, since I figured he'd needed someone to be blunt with him, but it wasn't my intention to hurt his feelings or anything. I made sure to express that I do care about him as a person and just wanted to guide him since he seemed lost in the world of dating. He didn't really accept my apology, told me that I'm on the path to being a broke loser bum because I'm in a different field than him, and he has decided that everything I told him was just out of jealousy, and that he thinks, and I quote, he is owed the highest form of respect for being a good man who is a future legal representative, and since I wasn't giving him that we should stop being friends. He also attempted to tell me that I should watch out from disrespecting him because in the future my life will be in his hands and he'll have the power to put me in jail. I assured him that jealousy and the highest form of respect definitely wasn't the case, lol. But if that's how he feels, then so be it. At least I know I tried and did my part. I also wanted to answer some questions I seen people leave under the OG post for some clarity. Yes, he is 5 feet 2 inches. Yes, he is very skinny and small. Every physical attribute I've mentioned and described is real. Some people thought I was over-exaggerating or just straight up lying, but I am not. For those asking how is he doing college/law school online, he was studying online classes at University of Florida. As for law school, I know which one he is doing, but I won't say for privacy purposes. As for why he's been doing nothing but home/online his whole life, it's because his parents are really overprotective of him. They were consistently worried about school shootings, kidnappers, etc., even to this day. For those asking if his family's religious, yes they are. However, mine is too, and many others. This has not stopped anyone from growing into a different or better person, nor has it caused me or anyone I know, besides Nathan, to have a one-track mind. For those asking if he is autistic, he isn't diagnosed, so I don't want to say yes, but does he exhibit signs of severe autism? Yes he does. The lack of social/self-awareness was a clear sign for me, but I don't want to label him that if I'm wrong. For those who mentioned how he plans to be a lawyer with no talking/social skills, I mentioned this to him during our last conversation. I told him forget about women, and politely explained that he also needs to improve his communication and social skills if he plans to be a lawyer, because without that he isn't going to make it very far. He told me he's got it all figured out, and as long as he gets that degree, that's all he needs to be ultra successful in law. I told him that's not how it works, and you quite literally have to be slightly manipulative and convincing in order to make a name for yourself, because what good is your degree if you suck at actually performing your job? He once again tried to tell me that I'm jealous and don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, after all that, I've accepted that our friendship is over, and I'm not sure where he's gonna land in the future, whether in regards to romantic relationships or his actual career, and I was also the only friend he had, so I do wish him the best and hope life doesn't humble him to the point of no return. I don't think he's a bad person, just out of touch with reality, and I hope that doesn't backfire too harshly on him. Relevant comments. In the original post you mentioned that he had a disabled sibling who died young. Your former friend isn't necessarily autistic. His parents coped with the pain of one child dying by isolating their remaining child for safety. They kept him away from life experiences and developing social skills by never putting him in situations where he was forced to learn to interact with other people. He's wildly ignorant as a result, and arrogant in his ignorance. This is developmentally normal for a young teenager. Just how old was he when his brother died? If you have the mental bandwidth, keep a line of communication open. If and when he realizes that he's been neglected, he may reach out to you. You don't have to put up with any BS, but if he's honestly gotten to that point, a kind word or 3 could be part of how he develops. He only died a year ago. Not long enough to shield Nathan from the world. They've been doing this. He's going to get eaten alive in a firm, but that will be his lesson to learn. But I doubt he'll even manage to get a foot in the door. I feel like Nathan's parents are to blame for his attitude towards Op. The stuff Nathan said about Op being jealous and that he will be an instant success as long as he gets a degree sound like a parent telling them child that everything will be okay and it's not your fault. Everyone is just out to get you, that's all. Very sheltered by the way Op describes why he was homeschooled and does online college classes. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.